The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Bash for this Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. Sports Bash is presented by TicketBash.com. Number to call to join the show is 631-451-1039. Sports Bash is brought to you by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, by Falcone Law Firm. If you need to speak to an attorney, call them at 631-6074-LAW, by the Marty Lyons Foundation, the official charity of Sports Bash Media, and by Ready Set Studios, a full-service content marketing agency. For a free consultation, call them at 516-509-8277. Good morning, I'm Peter Schwartz. Good morning, Vinny Tickets.
Good morning, Peter.
Very exciting show today. Later in the show, we're going to try to stump the Wiz, the debut of that segment.
Love that idea.
Absolutely, and Vin is ready to go for Stump the Wiz later on in the show. It's time for the Sports Bash Flash, brought to you by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, where every customer is considered family. The Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Mention Sports Bash, and you'll get a free dessert with your meal. Busy night in sports last night. Locally, here's WizKid Vinny.
In the NBA playoffs, the Knicks were leading the Indiana Pacers in Game 5 of the second round, 103-86, and star point guard Jalen Brunson looked to extend the lead.
Touch pass. Oh, Brunson. Whoa, Brunson. Are you kidding? Jalen Brunson with an acrobatic move and one.
Brian Anderson of TNT on the call. The final score was 121-91. Knicks victory. New York will be in Indianapolis tomorrow for Game 6 on ESPN to try and advance their first conference final since 2000. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Rangers currently have a 3-2 series lead against the Carolina Hurricanes. Game 6 will be tomorrow in Raleigh at 7 p.m. on TNT. Heading over to Target Field, the Yankees were leading the Minnesota Twins 2-1 in the third inning when their star outfielder Giancarlo Stanton came up to the plate.
The 2-2. Stanton hammers it deep left center field. Got a chance left center field wall and gone. Goodbye. A missile for Giancarlo Stanton. And the Yankees add to the lead in the third. It's 3-1 Yanks in Minnesota.
Emmanuel Barbari on WFAN on the call.
It's great when he's not swinging at pitches in the dirt. It's great when he hits that one to the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The final was a 5-1 victory for the Pinstripes. Game 2 will be tonight at 7:40. At Citi Field, the Mets were shut out by the rival Philadelphia Phillies 4-0. The rubber match of the series will be at 6:40 tonight. And today, the NFL will release their full schedule for the 2024 season. The international games have been reported. The New York Jets will be against the Minnesota Vikings in London. Meanwhile, the New York Giants will be against the Carolina Panthers in Munich. Other notable games that have been reported have been the Jets against the Patriots on Week 3 on Thursday Night Football, and the Giants will be against the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. With your Sports Bash Flash, I'm Vinny Laspinuso.
Vinny, thank you very much. And to the point of the NFL schedule coming out, it is never too early to think about betting lines and prop bets, even when only a handful of games officially announced. And on the line with us to talk about the early lines for some of the games that we already know about is Dave Mason, the brand manager of BetOnline.com. Dave, it's Peter and Vinny. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. Busy week, fun week, a lot going on.
Yes, a lot of fun, and it's interesting when you have these games trickling in until the full schedule is released tonight. What's the process like in putting together lines and coming up with a good idea of where fans want to go, where things are trending, when we really don't know what the final rosters are even going to look at, and it's still months before the season starts? How does this all come about?
Yeah, I mean, NFL, even though it's the biggest sport and it's the most bet by far, it's the it's our bread and butter, right? Football, and then especially NFL. It's also the easiest sport for us. I mean, there's just so much information out there. We know it inside and out. So it's quite easy to come up with the lines. And you post a number. We have an opinion. We have guys that know their stuff, and a few of us will post an opinion. You share our opinions, and you post a line, and then you move it. We take sharp action here at Bet Online, so that helps us. A lot of books don't really take sharp action. Sharp action, what I mean is guys that win more than they lose over the long haul. So we take those kind of bettors. So if they bet something, we move it, we shape it into we shape the odds and to where they should be. And by kickoff week 1, those odds are going to be very tight. Right now, they can be a little loose. So, I'm always surprised that people really don't bet that early. I guess they don't like tying up money, but value's value, if you ask me. I like betting the early lines.
Yeah. So, Dave, when it comes to these games, is there a benchmark or a place that you're looking to see what other lines are out, or is it strictly an internal process to come up with these lines that are so far away?
No, absolutely. I mean, we definitely look what's out there, right? I mean, why wouldn't you? And again, we know which books are taking sharp action. They'll get our attention a little bit more than others. I mean, why wouldn't you? I don't care what book is out there. We're all looking at each other, all looking at our odds, because you don't want to get middled either. I mean, you don't want to be our opinion is -7, when everybody else is whatever -9 or something, or better example for middle. We're 3.5 when everybody else is 2.5, and you're leaving that 3. You don't want to have that happen. And you're
Right.
You want to take a quick second and explain to our listeners exactly what a middle is?
Sure. The easiest example for football is the key number is 3, right? So if the book is if you're given, say there's let's say team A is -3.5 over team B, and then another book it's 2.5, or even if you move it, even if you're 3.5 and then the odds move to 2.5, you're offering a better. They can bet +3.5 on one side and -2.5 on the other side, so they can win both bets if it lands 3, which again is the most common number in football. So that's called a middle. You get middled there, you lose on both sides, and then that's not good. So you don't want to get middled. So absolutely, every book is looking at other book. Now that your opinion wins out, you might be off by half a point or point early, whatever. But by kickoff, you're all pretty close. But again, there's books that your eyes perk up when they move, and there's books that they're not taking any sharp action. They're just all about public money.
Thank you for explaining that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Dave Mason is our guest. He's the brand manager of BetOnline.com, and he's joining us here on Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com. One of the games that has already been announced, and your line really jumps out at me, and that I looked at the numbers yesterday, is the Jets season opener on the Monday night game against the 49ers. You've got the 49ers opening up as a 6-point favorite over Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, and that's kind of interesting to me because you're almost begging people to jump on Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. There's going to be so many storylines about that game, him coming back. He's playing against the team he grew up rooting for. You got the 49ers coming off of going to the Super Bowl. So that's a line, Dave, to me that jumps out, the Jets 6-point underdogs opening Monday night against the 49ers.
Yeah, early bettors are on the 49ers. It's just, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, right? But we're now 2 seasons away from him playing any football, coming off an Achilles. I mean, he's great, but, he still is older. So, that's a tough one, man. I think that that line is exactly where it should be. That will be a big teaser game. Whenever we have those 6-point games, people love teasing that down to 0. They love teasing that down to a pick'em. So that's going to be a huge teaser game and a money line parlay game. But that spread, man, it's so hard to figure out with Aaron Rodgers, right? So, I'm going to wait and see there myself.
Hey, Dave, quick question for you. By any chance, do you guys have a prop bet for Aaron Rodgers over under 4 plays into the season he gets injured?
No, but that's a good one. We should have that. How many games is he going to play and all that stuff. So yeah, hopefully he overhits. I mean, you want to see the guy out there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That was really great storyline last year when they signed him and people were betting him, and we have a lot of players in New York, a lot of bettors that bet with us here at Bet Online. So that went down. I was like, oh man, that's just a fun storyline that just and that's part of it. This side of the counter, you love storylines, and I'm more of a marketer than an odds maker, but you like the storylines. The storylines sell. I mean, you want those big storylines on the field or on the court. I mean, Caitlin Clark is a prime example, right? She had to play her first game last night. It's just everywhere. It's like the leading story on all the news channels, despite what else is going on in the sports world. And we bet we had more action on last night's Steve game than any WNBA game in history. So we want those stories. We want Aaron Rodgers on the field, etc.
Dave Mason, brand manager of BetOnline.com, our guest. Dave, thank you for spending a few minutes with us, and we look forward to chatting again as the NFL season approaches, and we look forward to talking to you again.
Thanks for having me, guys. Take care.
Dave Mason, brand manager of BetOnline.com. Still lots to do here on Sports Bash. Stump the Wiz is coming up. We're also going to have This Day in Sports History. A lot of fun still to come. Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Stay with us on YouTube and Facebook through the break. We're still going to have more before we rejoin our radio audience. Okay, Facebook and YouTube viewers and others on our video platforms, welcome back inside our studios. Peter Schwartz, Vinny Tickets. Great conversation with Dave Mason from Bet Online. It's kind of interesting. I'm not, and I didn't want to say this when he was on. I'm not really much of a gambling person, but obviously it's a huge part of the sports world right now. And that the line on the Jets-Niners game fascinates me. And I'm not a gambling person, but it's almost amazing that you could have a team, a 6-point favorite over an Aaron Rodgers quarterback Jets. And again, there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts involved there, but that's something that stuck out to me, that 6-point spread.
Yeah, well, they're opening up on the road, a Super Bowl contender last year. I don't know. Listen, I'm a green guy myself, but I got to say, I think they might be pretty close with that number.
Absolutely. And when it comes to spreads, I'm not really much into the gambling spreads, but if you're going to ask me about one, it's a bagel spread, it's a lock spread. And that brings us to our sponsor spotlight. And we're so happy to have the Embassy Diner in Bethpage on board with us. The food is great. And again, that Sports Bash special, if you go into the Embassy Diner in Bethpage and you say you heard about the Embassy Diner on Sports Bash, just mention Sports Bash. A free dessert on Gus and the staff there at Embassy Diner.
And everything's delicious.
It's great. I again, my go-to thing there, more times than not, is their panini. They've got some unbelievable paninis, but everything in the place is great. Family-oriented place, very, very friendly. The staff loves everybody that walks through the door, so you'll definitely want to give the Embassy Diner in Bethpage a call and a visit, and we are going to welcome back in our radio audience. Stump the Wiz coming up in just a matter of seconds. Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. 631-451-1039 is the number to call to join the show. This is not part of Stump the Wiz, but I want to keep that music going. This is not your actual Stump the Wiz moment. By the way, Peter Schwartz, Vinny Tickets back with you. WizKid Vinny is coming up here with sports. This Day in Sports History, and Stump the Wiz is coming up. This is just like a bonus Stump the Wiz, just for my own, knowledge here. What's the name of this song and who wrote it?
Round Ball Rock, I know, is the name of it. That was the NBA on NBC theme for many years. As for who wrote it, I'm not entirely sure. But
You want a hint?
Yeah.
He was a co-host of Entertainment Tonight.
I
stumped the Wiz. Well, I partially did. He got the name.
Well, I will say, according to reports, the NBA will be back on NBC.
Yes, well, that's why I played it. You kind of stole my thunder there a little bit, because there are reports that the NBA TNT package is going to go to NBC, which means you'll probably hear this song again next NBA season.
They said that they're going to try to get the rights back for that, because I know Comcast is not
And
own
who
it.
do they have to ask? Who wrote the song?
Yep, of course. The guy from Entertainment Tonight, like you just said.
John Tesh.
Yeah.
John
I know
Tesh.
it's someone with a J in general, but
Well, I'm impressed that you got the name of the song, because you
wouldn't
could
have-
have offered me $1 million and I wouldn't have gotten it. So good job.
631-451-1039 is the number to call to join the show. I want to make sure we hit on this before we get too far ahead of ourselves, but a gutsy win by the Knicks again last night. A tremendous performance, blowing out the Pacers in Game 5 at the Garden. I was a little concerned. Remember, Glenn from Flushing was a little concerned calling the show yesterday. A lot of Knicks fans were very concerned. And after that, opening few minutes, the Knicks put all that concern to bed.
Absolutely. So, hate to say I told you so. Yesterday on the show, we had a lot of naysayers. I was at an event last night with my son, a bunch of his friends, and it was just too many people were beating up the Knicks. Oh, they don't stand a chance. They're too hobbled. They're too injured. You know what? We said it yesterday. This team is gritty, and the big thing we keep saying is they find a way.
That's it. And Jalen Brunson was great last night, 44 points. A lot of people contributed. And now Game 6 is Friday night in Indiana. And by the way, I took a little peek on ticketbash.com for Knicks fans who might want to go see the potential game clincher. $78 get in the door. You hop on a plane.
Oh, right.
Hop on a plane and go to Indiana. I mean, what would a ticket be for a Game 7 at the Garden? What was get in the door last night for Game 5?
Last night, get in least expensive was around $400.
$400. So, want to make a little trip out of it? Go to Indiana. Get your flight, get your hotel, and get your tickets on ticketbash.com.
Absolutely. I
Where, by
agree
the
with
way,
that.
you never pay a service fee.
I agree with you.
Okay, it is time for This Day in Sports History. We turn it over to WizKid Vinny.
On this day, 1941, the Chicago White Sox defeated the New York Yankees on the road 13-1. Now, you might be saying, Vin, why are you talking about a random game which the Yankees got blown out?
Vin, why are you talking about a random game where the Yankees got blown out?
As I was just saying, well, it's very unassuming, but this was actually the start of something historic. It was the first game of Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak.
Good.
In that game, he went 2 for 5 of the day. The first hit was a single to the bottom of the fourth, and the second was an RBI single when my man Frank Corsetti, put him in Monument Park, scored the first run for the team. And we all know how great he was, Joe DiMaggio. We think about the MVPs, we think of the championships and the batting titles, but what really sticks with DiMaggio to this very day, other than his relationship with Marilyn Monroe, is his...
And Mr. Coffee.
Yep, that too, and his siblings, but also the 56-game hitting streak. I think MLB had, get to 56 for picks you can get in a row. And still to this very day, it's been 56 straight games of the hit, and no one's come close to that.
Pete Rose, 44.
44?
Yeah, but that's still over 10 off.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Vinny. And it is now time to keep you on your toes because it is time for Stump the Wiz. And what we ask people to do is go on the Sports Bash Media Facebook page and also our Instagram page and send in a question to try and stump the Wiz. And we are giving a prize if they are able to stump the Wiz.
Yeah,
correct?
Yes, we are. We will be giving away
a choice of either 2 Met tickets,
two Yankee tickets.
A mutually agreed upon game.
Mutually agreed upon game. So
a choice. So it depends.
And let the listeners know also that was a private message. So Wiz had no idea what the question was.
Right.
So let's give it a shot.
Here we go. So our question comes from Michael Scarlett. And he asks, now don't answer the question just yet because I'm going to have a clock on you, okay?
I'm looking at it.
Right, 2 minutes. Michael Scarlett asks, what sports teams in the 4 major sports have a nickname that does not end with the letter S? And we are going to start the clock right now.
Okay. So the 4 teams that out of the 4 leagues don't have. So you ask the question one more time.
This is cutting into your time here.
Oh, okay. Out of all the leagues, what one has? Let's see the teams with.
You're wasting time thinking about this now. Just answer teams.
Okay, well,
in the NBA, what teams play in the NBA?
There's no NFL teams, so you got basketball, baseball, and hockey teams that don't end in S.
Miami Heat, Orlando Magic. Also, MLB has 2: the Boston Red Sox and the Chicago White Sox. Right. For the NHL,
there's a total of 10, by the way.
The NHL has the Minnesota Wild.
Right.
The Seattle Kraken, who of course was just added.
Okay.
Let's see who else. Was there.
Michael Scarlett's sweating this out right now.
What
You're
else?
missing 2 NBA teams and 2 NHL teams.
I know that for the NHL, there are also. I'm trying to think. Okay, halfway through. Okay,
This is the final minute of play in
Uh-oh.
Stump the Wiz.
okay. NHL. Let's see. Wow.
Michael, start looking at that Mets and Yankees schedule.
No, not thinking.
You got this, Wiz. Come
Come
on.
on.
Oh, okay. I said
No pressure.
no. I didn't say there was any.
Remember, if Vinny has to give away free tickets, it comes out of your paycheck.
Okay. Okay. Not the Blackhawks, the Red Wings.
Think of weather circumstances.
Oh, the Colorado Avalanche.
Yes.
Utah Jazz. I was also thinking of
20
Tampa Bay
seconds.
Lightning,
Lightning.
and one more team. Okay.
15 seconds.
15.
One more team to go.
Not more. Okay, NBA team. I know that.
That's an NBA team.
NBA team.
7,
6.
6,
Lynx.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You know what? Kudos to you, Wiz.
You got
9 out of 10. And really, I saw I saw some smoke coming. Some smoke coming out
Oklahoma
as you were
City
thinking.
Thunder.
Yeah.
So, Michael Scarlett, you did stump the Wiz. It was close. It was close. You were sweating it out. But just reach out to me or to Vinny Tickets on social media or leave Sebastiano. Call the number 631-451-1039, and we will be in touch to have a mutually agreed upon Mets or Yankees game 2 tickets.
2 tickets. That's right.
That was fun. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I was really thinking to the very, very end there, but hey, it worked out. Well, no NFL teams. With
Yeah,
the
it worked
letter
out
S.
for Michael Scarlett.
I will say I am happy for him. Teams end with the S.
By the way, my son Jared, who is not eligible to win, wanted to try and stump the Wiz. So I'm going to give you the quick question from my son Jared.
Okay.
Who is the former Met who was nicknamed the Bearded Magician?
Bearded Magician. Well, I always refer to Justin Turner as one.
Well, no, and you've got 10 seconds.
Bearded Magician.
Again, Jared's not eligible to win anything. Just our love and support.
It's not Jose Reyes.
No. That's it. You're done. The music is playing. Luis Guillermo.
I do not hear about those nicknames
Okay,
for him.
well, that's too bad.
But it's good. He is a magician with his gloves, so I'll give him that.
Yes, absolutely. We want to thank our guest Dave Mason, brand manager of Bet Online. Thanks to everybody who submitted questions for Stump the Wiz, and that'll do it for this edition of Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com. Sports Bash is sponsored by the Embassy Diner, by the Marty Lyons Foundation, Falcone Law Firm, and Ready Set Studios. For our entire crew, including Vinny Tickets, WizKid Vinny, Chris Ganem, and Sebastiano on the other side of the glass. I'm Peter Schwartz. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with another big edition